My beloved child, that battle which seemed to have no end has truly come to a close. And what you have just passed through was not punishment, but the final test of your character. Imagine the old and heavy armor that covered you for so long falling away piece by piece. Its sound confirming that you no longer have to live in a constant posture of defense. You became accustomed to waking each day and wondering what you would have to fight next, believing that if you relaxed even for a moment, everything would collapse upon you again. There were days when you looked toward heaven and asked why you had to endure for so long, wondering whether you had done something that displeased God. But I have come to remove that condemnation from you. You were not kept in pain because you were hated. You were led through the fire so that you could see for yourself what remained intact when everything outside you was taken away. What made this test so difficult was not only the loss, betrayal, or repeated destruction of hope. Those things were painful. But beneath all that pain was a deeper question. Who would you become after being wounded, when you were treated unjustly? Would you become like the person who harmed you? When your sincerity was misunderstood, would you use deception to protect yourself? After giving so much and receiving so little, would you close your heart and swear never to care for anyone again? This was the true place of testing. Many people emerge from storms looking strong on the outside, while bitterness has taken possession of them within. They survive, but lose their gentleness. They win one conflict, but carry warfare into every relationship that follows. You, however, though wounded, did not choose to become a source of harm to others. I saw how you kept your hands from what was impure, even when you had an opportunity to retaliate. I know there were words you could have spoken that would have wounded others as deeply as they wounded you. Yet you swallowed them because you understood that victory is not found in making another person suffer the same pain. You could have used their secrets to defend your reputation, but you chose silence. You could have entered the struggle for superiority, but you walked away to preserve peace. This does not mean you were never angry, exhausted, or tempted to give up. You felt all of those things. Yet, amid those very real emotions, you preserved compassion. This proved that darkness could not transform you into its own image, because you protected your dignity during days when no one was watching. God is preparing to bring into the light what was formed in secret. The reward is not merely a more comfortable circumstance, but a peace you can carry wherever you go. You will no longer be easily shaken by rejection, a closed door, or someone changing their attitude toward you. The things that once required many days of recovery will no longer possess the same power over you, because you now understand that your worth does not depend upon how others treat you. God is leading you out of a season of mere survival and into a season of building, where you will no longer spend all your strength healing old wounds, but will begin using that energy to create something new, stable and meaningful. Do not assume that restoration must arrive through a loud and dramatic event. Some forms of compensation begin quietly. You sleep peacefully after months of restlessness, wake without unexplained fear, and look back upon the past without being pulled into its pain again. You may discover that you no longer need an apology in order to move forward, and no longer need someone else to acknowledge the truth before you can believe that your experience was real. These signs may appear small, but they reveal that the authority of the former season is ending. From that foundation of peace, outward doors will gradually open, more suitable opportunities, relationships built upon respect, the stability you once prayed for, and the ability to manage greater things without losing yourself. I want you to understand that God's restoration is not a mechanical exchange, as though every tear must immediately be traded for a material gift. He does not purchase your pain with things that quickly pass away. His restoration is much deeper. He takes what once caused you shame and transforms it into wisdom. He uses the years you believed were lost to form discernment that no school could provide. He transforms the experience of abandonment into compassion that helps you recognize those who are silently crying for help. He does not merely return what was taken. He enlarges you so that when goodness returns, you are no longer controlled by it, nor do you use it to prove that you are greater than others. You are standing like someone who has completed a long journey through darkness and has just seen the horizon begin to brighten. There was once a servant who reached the end of his journey with the certainty that he had remained faithful to the work entrusted to him. For him, those words marked a conclusion. For you, however, that same spirit does not announce an ending, but the sound of graduation. You have completed the lesson of endurance, and now you must enter the lesson of building. You learned how not to collapse, but now you must learn how to live without constantly preparing for disaster. You became accustomed to protecting yourself from loss, but now you must open your heart to receive without distrusting every good thing. Leaving the battlefield can sometimes be as difficult as surviving upon it, because your body and mind are still accustomed to the sounds of danger. Give yourself time to believe that peace is real. It may feel unfamiliar when there is no longer a crisis to solve. You may unconsciously search for problems, fearing that stability is merely the silence before another storm. When this happens, do not condemn yourself. Gently remind yourself that you are learning a new rhythm of life. You do not need to create chaos in order to feel familiar. You do not have to return to people who harmed you simply because present peace feels unfamiliar. Nor do you need to work until you are exhausted in order to prove that you deserve what you have received. A season of building requires diligence, but it is an orderly diligence that knows how to rest. Choose wisely and protect what matters. Remember the young leader of old who stood before a great river after the previous generation had completed its work. Before him was a land of new responsibility, while behind him stretched a long road of hardship. He was not called to return to the wilderness merely because it was familiar. He had to cross the water, carrying the lessons of the past without carrying the mindset of slavery. You are standing at a similar threshold. God did not free you from years of hardship so that you would continue thinking like someone imprisoned. He is teaching you to walk as someone who knows they are loved, who understands their right to establish boundaries, and who believes the future does not have to repeat the past. Therefore, do not carry the armor of battle into the peaceful home you are about to build. That armor preserved you in one season, but if you refuse to remove it, you will be unable to embrace those who love you. Vigilance once helped you avoid danger, but if you hold it too long, everyone will begin to appear suspicious. Independence once helped you survive, but in the new season you must learn how to receive help without shame. Keep the wisdom, but release the fear. Preserve the boundaries, but do not build walls so high that even light cannot enter. Keep the lesson, but stop living as though the former event is still happening every day. My beloved child, I confirm that you completed that particular race of suffering with a heart still capable of love. Now it is time to place your hands upon new work and build what you once lacked the strength even to imagine. Rebuild your confidence through truthful words, your health through consistent care, your finances through wise discipline, and your relationships through mutual respect. Do not impatiently demand to see the entire reward in one day. A new season often begins with small signs, but if you remain faithful, they will become an entirely different way of life. The battle taught you how to stand. Peace will teach you how to bloom. Cross this threshold with gratitude, because you are no longer merely someone trying to survive the storm. You are becoming someone who can plant a garden, build a home, and create refuge for those who will be drawn toward the light God preserved within you. Do not misunderstand this moment as though I have risen only because you are weak and about to collapse. I have risen because you have just revealed a quality that caused all of heaven to take notice. Many people believe that divine intervention appears only when they are exhausted, driven to the edge, and no longer able to protect themselves. They see themselves as helpless victims, waiting for a hand to reach down and pull them from the abyss. But, my beloved child, that is not the whole truth about you. If I wanted only to rescue you from a dangerous situation, I would not need to create a dramatic display. One command would be enough to redirect the circumstance. One small arrangement could cause what opposes you to lose its power. I have risen not because I am alarmed by the strength of the adversary, but because under pressure you chose a way of behaving nobler than your instincts demanded. I have risen to confirm that pain no longer governs you. Remember Stephen, who was surrounded by angry eyes and hands prepared to harm him. In that severe hour, he did not allow the cruelty of others to turn him into someone like them. He did not answer hatred with hatred or use curses against those condemning him. What captured heaven's attention was not that he felt no pain or that he knew no fear, but that amid pain and fear, he preserved compassion. He reflected a nature that did not belong to the bitterness of the world. When every reason gave him permission to resent, he chose forgiveness. When others attempted to humiliate him, he refused to lower himself through retaliation. This was why the presence of heaven rose to bear witness to the nobility within him. Not because he was a pitiful person requiring sympathy, but because he had won a battle deeper than the conflict outside him. You have also passed through such a battlefield. Perhaps no one saw it. There was no crowd, no celebration, and no one knew what you were fighting. The battle took place in a quiet room. During the moments you sat alone, and in the darkness of night, after every outward sound had faded while your mind continued to surge. Perhaps it was when a message appeared and brought back memories you believed had been buried. Perhaps an accusation made you want to defend yourself immediately. Perhaps someone distorted the truth, damaged your reputation, or caused others to misunderstand you. At that moment, every emotion urged you to fight back. You wanted to say everything you knew, expose what they had done, and make them experience what you had endured. I saw your finger stop upon the screen. I heard the sharp replies forming within your mind. I knew your throat tightened. Your chest became hot, and your heart pounded with both pain and anger. You had every reasonable argument with which to defend yourself. You could even have wounded the other person by saying only a few words aimed at their weakest place. But then you stopped. You placed the phone down, stepped away from the argument taking place in your thoughts, and gave yourself a few seconds to breathe. That small pause may have appeared insignificant, but to heaven, it was a great milestone. In those 3 brief seconds, you prevented another chain of pain from spreading. You refused to surrender authority to anger. You did not allow one impulsive moment to destroy the peace you had spent months, perhaps years, rebuilding. You were not weak because you remained silent. You did not lose because you refused to retaliate. There are times when silence comes from fear, but there are also times when silence is the expression of controlled power. A weak person often does whatever emotion commands, but a strong person knows they possess the ability to harm and chooses not to use it. You did not allow the other person to determine who you would become in that moment. They may have acted from their bitterness, but you did not need to reflect it. You chose to keep your hands clean, your words from becoming weapons, and your heart from sinking more deeply into revenge. That restraint became a victory no outsider could measure. I rose because you demonstrated that the healing within you is real. In the past, you might have responded immediately. Spoken words you later regretted, or done everything possible to prove yourself right. This time, however, you were different. Change does not always appear through great decisions. Often, it is most clearly seen in the way you handle a small but deeply tempting moment. When you paused before sending words designed to wound, you broke an old habit. When you chose calmness instead of escalating conflict, you stepped out of a cycle that once kept you in pain. When you refused the opportunity to humiliate another person, you protected your own dignity. I saw all of this. Even though no one else knew, you had just won a battle. Yet, compassion does not mean that you must accept every wrongdoing. I am not teaching you to remain silent while being trampled upon. Nor am I asking you to remain in a place that continually erodes your peace. There are moments when you must speak truth, establish boundaries, and leave what is no longer healthy. The difference lies in the source of your action. You can speak truth from calmness instead of anger. You can close a door without cursing the person standing on the other side. You can defend your honor without destroying the honor of another. You can refuse to continue a relationship while protecting your heart from bitterness. I want you to be strong without becoming cruel, clear without becoming poisonous, and firm without allowing hatred to become your fuel. The moment you paused also revealed that you have understood something very important. Not every accusation requires an answer, and not every misunderstanding must be corrected immediately. Some truths need time to reveal themselves. Some people will not listen, regardless of how much you explain. Some arguments consume energy without producing anything good. When you learn what deserves your voice and what should be entrusted to time, you begin living by wisdom rather than reaction. I do not want you exhausting yourself by chasing every rumor, every distorted opinion, or every person who has deliberately chosen not to understand you. Allow your upright life to become a longer-lasting answer than any defense you could offer. My child, what caused me to rise was not your weakness, but the way you used your strength. You possessed the ability to attack, but chose self-control. You had reason to resent, yet refused to allow your heart to be poisoned. You could have lowered yourself to the level of the one who wounded you, but instead you rose above through compassion. This was not defeat. It was the sign of someone living from a nature that has been refined. You are becoming different in a world where people easily use their pain to justify causing more pain. This difference will make the light within you visible, not through boasting, but through your ability to remain gentle when you could have become bitter. From now on, whenever you are provoked, remember that pause. Give yourself 3 seconds to breathe. 3 seconds to separate emotion from decision. And 3 seconds to ask whether the words you are about to speak will heal or merely extend the wound. You do not always need to answer immediately. Not every silence is weakness. And not every counterattack is courage. Sometimes the greatest victory is keeping your hands from what would later cause regret. I will teach you when to speak, when to step away, and when to allow truth to speak for itself. You are no longer a victim waiting to be rescued. You are a warrior who has learned how to lay down the weapon when mercy matters more than winning. In that moment, I rose to confirm that you had defeated the most dangerous temptation, the urge to become like what once wounded you. What makes this morning different is not that I have only now remembered you, but that you have finally stopped using exhausted hands to grip what was never fully within your control. My beloved child, many times I brought the thread of hope near you. I used quiet pauses, closed doors, and gentle reminders to prevent you from going farther into a path that was draining you. Yet you continued standing through willpower because you believed that if you stopped fighting, everything would collapse immediately. You assigned yourself the responsibility to understand everything, repair everything, keep everyone in the proper position, and force the future to unfold according to your wishes. But this morning, as you sat on the edge of your bed and released a sigh from a chest that had become too heavy, something very small yet deeply significant took place. You did not pray with beautiful language. You did not try to appear strong. You simply admitted that you were tired and could no longer live as though you had to move the entire world by yourself. That honesty opened a door that effort could never open. Perhaps you became afraid when that thought appeared. You believed that quietly, saying, "I no longer want to force this," was a sign of surrendering in defeat. But I want you to distinguish clearly. Giving up and surrendering are not the same. Giving up turns away from hope. Surrender releases the demand that hope must appear in only one form. Giving up says, there is nothing worth continuing toward. Surrender says, you will continue walking without insisting that you know the entire road in advance. This morning, you did not abandon the future. You merely resigned from the position of supreme manager over every event. You set down the key to the room in which you had long imprisoned yourself and returned it to me. It was a very small movement within your mind, almost invisible to everyone else. But in the hidden realm, it marked the end of an old way of living. You once believed that if you wanted me to act, you needed a perfect prayer, an unwavering state of faith, and the ability to appear strong before every difficulty. But I am not persuaded by outward performance. I look upon the most truthful place within you. The edited words no longer exist, and no mask can hide your exhaustion. Sometimes the truest prayer is only a trembling breath. Sometimes the deepest trust appears when you admit that you have no answer left. You do not need to shout for me to hear you. I was near even when you could not speak. Only when you stopped trying to control my response did you begin to realize that I had never left. Imagine that you have been driving for too long through thick fog. Your hands grip the wheel tightly. Your eyes strain to see through what cannot yet be seen. And your mind continually calculates from which direction disaster might appear. You believed that this tension was keeping you safe. But in truth, it was only exhausting you and reducing your ability to recognize gentle guidance. The thread of hope could not lift you, while you continued trying to prove that you could swim through the raging current alone. This morning, when you stopped struggling for one moment, that thread was finally able to tighten and draw you towards safety. You did not sink. You merely stopped resisting the hand that was lifting you. This was not failure. It was the first success of trust. For years, you lived as though an alarm were constantly ringing inside you. Your mind continually analyzed, predicted, and prepared for the worst. You examined every glance, every word, and every silence, trying to discover the hidden meaning behind them. Something that had not even happened was enough to keep you awake. A door that opened slowly made you immediately believe you had been left behind. This way of living once helped you survive seasons of instability. But it was never intended to become your permanent home. When you continually remain on guard, your body also receives the command to fight. Your breathing becomes shorter, your shoulders heavier, your sleep more fragile, and your clarity becomes covered by the noise of anxiety. Your sigh this morning was not only a sign of exhaustion, it was also the moment your body received permission to stop sounding the alarm. When you stopped trying to resolve everything at once, the rhythm within you began to slow down. Quietness did not appear because every problem immediately vanished, but because you no longer allowed every problem to invade your mind at the same time. Within that stillness, something deeper received an opportunity to speak. You began to see that many fears were not born from the present, but from old memories that had never been healed. Some of your reactions today are actually echoes of days when you were abandoned, rejected, or forced to become strong too early. You are not merely facing one circumstance. You are being led into a place where old systems within you must be removed and rearranged. I am carrying out a great restoration within you. I am not merely painting the surface so that others will think you are doing better. I am reaching into the foundation of the way you think, react, and see yourself. Old beliefs are like worn electrical wiring in an ancient house. You once believed that if you did not please everyone, you would not be loved. You thought that one mistake would cause every good thing to leave you. You lived believing that rest was weakness. Asking for help was shameful, and predicting every danger was the only way to survive. Those old wires caused the light within you to flicker. I do not condemn you for living according to them. I am simply showing you that the time has come to replace them with healthier truth. This renewal will not be completed in one morning. Today's surrender is the door, but you must continue walking through it each day. Whenever anxiety returns and urges you to seize control, pause it. Breathe deeply and ask what truly belongs to your responsibility. If you can act, perform that part calmly. If the matter lies beyond your reach, set it down instead of thinking about it until you become exhausted. Every time you choose a new response, your mind learns a new road. Every time you refuse to condemn yourself for being tired, another part of the inner house is repaired. Every time you seek help instead of suffering silently, you break an old habit that kept you alone. I also do not want you to use surrender as a reason to stop living responsibly. Releasing control does not mean abandoning your life. You still need to care for your body, complete necessary work, keep your promises, confront problems, and seek appropriate support when your mind becomes overloaded. If anxiety, sleeplessness, or exhaustion continues, allow knowledgeable people to walk beside you. Healing does not come only through a mysterious moment. It may also come through sufficient sleep, a healthier rhythm of life, an honest conversation, and proper care. True surrender does not make you passive. It helps you act without carrying the burden of controlling every result. My beloved child, this morning is different because the door within you has opened. I have not only just arrived, you have simply stopped blocking the way with control and fear. The quiet admission that you cannot continue in the old way is not a code of failure, but the confession that begins freedom. From now on, you do not need to become the general in every battle. In some battles, you need only stand still. Keep your heart upright, and allow me to show you the next step. Some things will not be resolved through more thinking, but through becoming quiet enough to recognize the direction that has already been present. Tomorrow, you may again feel the desire to grip everything tightly. Do not condemn yourself. Simply open your hands once more. Surrender is not a single action, but a rhythm you learn again each day. Every time you release something, you create more room for peace. Every time you stop accepting responsibility for what does not belong to you, another portion of your strength is restored. I am not taking away your power to choose. I am freeing you from the belief that you must control everything in order to be safe. Allow the thread of hope to continue lifting you. This morning you did not lose. You merely stopped fighting in a way that was harming you. And from that small surrender, a new life is quietly being built within you.